Number 1 room service for the damned. 657 Boulevard. A house that seemed to be waiting for something to awaken from its silent history. In the quiet neighborhood of Westfield, New Jersey, it was the perfect home, a place where the Broaddus family would live out their dreams, or perhaps where their nightmares would begin. Excitement was in the air as Derek and Maria Broaddus unpacked their boxes, unaware that the house was already watching them, waiting for them to cross a line they couldn't see. Maria picked up the letter carefully, a curious yet apprehensive look on her face as she read it aloud to Derek. Dearest new neighbor at 657 Boulevard, allow me to welcome you to the neighborhood. I have been watching the house for decades now, and as it approaches its 110th birthday, I have been put in charge of watching and waiting for its second coming. The letter wasn't threatening yet, but something about it didn't sit right with them. Who would send such a strange welcome? And why did it feel so personal? As days passed, they shrugged it off, telling themselves it was just a prank. But then the second letter arrived. I see you've made some changes already, filling the upstairs with young blood. I can see your children from my window. How old are they? I'm sure they're going to love their new home. Derek frantically searched the house. He was desperate, driven by an instinctive, terrifying need to find something. Every room, every corner, even the attic, looking for a sign of the Watcher's presence. Yet nothing. But the Watcher knew. The Watcher always knew. Every night felt the same. That prickling sensation of being watched. A feeling that crawled up their spines as they tried to sleep. Derek and Maria could no longer ignore it. The house was alive with eyes, and they were the prey. The final letter arrived. Its words were final, definite, as if the Watcher knew what would come next. I hope you move in soon. I've been waiting. The house is waiting for you, and so am I. Derek and Maria stood at the front door, their backs to the house, drained, defeated. The house loomed behind them, silent and menacing. They never moved in. The house remained empty, but the Watcher never left. And 657 Boulevard still waits for the next family, the next soul. Number 2, The Devil's Blueprint. Chicago, 1893. The world marveled at the wonders of the World's Fair. But just a few blocks away, something darker was being constructed. A building that would go on to leave a scar in the city's soul. The Murder Castle, built by a man who was both charming and deadly. H. Holmes, a man of many faces, of many lies. A man whose charm hid a mind that was as dangerous as it was brilliant. Holmes built a hotel, but not just any hotel, a labyrinth. A house of horrors. Roland T. Owen arrived at the President Hotel with no luggage, no story, just a name, and an air of quiet danger. He requested a room on the upper floor, a room where no one would disturb him. Room 1046. Room 1046 was a strange place. Its walls seemed to absorb sound. Its windows offered no view. The floorboards creaked only when they wanted to. But Roland wasn't there for peace. He wasn't there for rest. He was there for something darker. That night, the phone rang from room 1046. The sounds, muffled voices, a loud crash, then nothing. The clerk tried to call back. No answer. It would be hours before the truth was known. The next morning, the bellboy approached room 1046 to deliver breakfast. He knocked, but there was no answer. After a brief pause, he opened the door. The sight before him was horrific. Roland was lying on the floor, beaten, stabbed, and barely alive. Blood stained the floor. Roland whispered something that would haunt the bellboy forever. His final words, "I fell against the bathtub." But the truth was darker than anyone knew. The police investigated the scene. They found no identification, no records of a Roland T. Owen anywhere. His face was unrecognizable, and all his belongings were mysteriously missing. Who was Roland T. Owen? A man with no past. A man who seemed to vanish after he died. And room 1046? It would never be the same again. Some mysteries never get solved. Roland T. Owen was just one of many lost souls who passed through the President Hotel, and room 1046 still waits for its next guest. Number 3, Letters from the Dead. 657 Boulevard. A house with a long history, standing silent and watchful. built to be the home of dreams, yet tainted by the secrets it held within its walls. The Broaddus family moved in, full of hope, but they could not escape the unseen presence that lingered. Derek and Maria Broaddus, excited for their new life, began unpacking boxes and settling into the house. But their excitement would soon turn to dread when the first letter arrived. It was an odd, unexpected greeting. The handwriting was almost archaic. Dearest new neighbor at 657 Boulevard, allow me to welcome you to the neighborhood. I have been watching the house for decades now, and as it approaches its 110th birthday, I have been put in charge of watching and waiting for its second coming. The letter was strange, yet harmless, or so they thought. They shrugged it off, thinking it was a prank. But as more letters arrived, the tone grew darker. I see you've made some changes already, filling the upstairs with young blood. I can see your children from my window. How old are they? I'm sure they're going to love their new home. Derek and Maria were no longer at ease. They searched the house, hoping for an explanation. They found nothing, but the feeling of being watched never went away. It was as if the house itself was aware of them, observing their every move. Then came the final letter. It was a chilling, direct message. I hope you move in soon. I've been waiting. The house is waiting for you, and so am I. The house and the watcher were not just a strange occurrence. They were an undeniable presence. Derek and Maria left the house, unable to shake the feeling that they were still being watched. And 657 Boulevard remains, its secrets still waiting to be uncovered. Thanks for watching. Hope you all are good. If you want more videos like this, comment down and don't forget to like, share, subscribe.